Okay, good morning class. So at this point we're looking at ratio and proportion. Some reason or other this board is active. Oh, there we go. Sorted now. So at this point we were looking at ratio and proportion in our last lesson of last term, which we introduced ratio and proportion. Okay, you guys had some homework. The homework was exercise on page 120. The question was to write the following ratios in the simplest form. Okay, so for those of you who missed the lesson, okay, here's an opportunity for you to understand what's happening. Also, you can watch the last lesson is online as well. Okay, so I'm going to do each and every sum here so that you guys can benefit from it. Okay, so it says write the following ratios in the simplest form. So I'm going to do 1.1. 1.1, we're going to say 3 over 4 is to 5 over 4. So what's your LCM here? 4. So I multiply throughout by 4. So that will give us, the 4's will cancel. So it will be 3. And 5 over 4 times 4, again the 4's will cancel. Leaves you with 5. So the simplest, the ratio in the simplest form is going to be 3 is to 12. Let's go to 1.2. 120 gram to 90 gram. Remember what we said, must be the same SI unit. In this case, both is in grams. So the SI unit is grams. So, do I need to change anything? No. If it was not in the same SI unit, I would have changed it. I always change it to the smaller one of the two. Okay? So since it's in the smallest form, I can say, okay, which number goes into 120 into 90 without remainder? 30. 30 can go into 120 4 times, and 30 goes into 90 3 times. But same argument said you didn't see that. Then you saw 10 goes into both. Then you first write 10. Then you would have then seen 3 can go into it thereafter. Okay? Or 3 first and then 10 after. The same thing. Let's look at 1.3. 1 and 1 over 4 is to 3 and 1 over 3. What's the first thing we need to do here? Change it to improper fraction. But change this to improper fraction, this should simply be 5 over 4 and 10 over 3. 5 over 4 is to 10 over 3. So what's my LCM here? 12. Okay? So I multiply throughout by 12. So if I multiply throughout by 12, I multiply this by 12 over 1, and then by 12 over 1. So 4 goes into 4 ones, 4 goes into 12, 3 times. Not so? So it's 3 times 5. What's 3 times 5? 15, and 1 times 1 is 1. So it's going to be 15 over 1, which is 15. Not so? Let's go on the side. 3 going to 3 ones, 3 going to 12, 4 times. 4 times 10, 40 over 1, which is 40. Did you guys get it?
I just want to give you your 2 memos back.
This is grade.
One is grade 12, one is grade 10.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just had the original memos, so I just wanted to give them to
Okay,
you.
no problem. Thank
And
you.
your grade 9s, I was asking you starting with ratio.
Ratio proportion.
Okay.
Okay. So, is that in the simplest form? No. So what do I do? You divide throughout by 5. I was writing it on the side. Okay, you can do it on either side. So you divide by 5 is going to give you 3 is to 8. Fairly simple, no? Any confusion? No? Let's look at 1.4. Let's see, pull that up a bit. 1.4. So you got 15 cents is to 1 rand 50 cents. Now what? Are they in the same SI unit? No. One is in cents and one is in rand. So we convert it to the smallest one. Or is 1 cent smaller or is 1 rand smaller? 1 cent is smaller. How many cents are there in a rand? 60. 60 seconds in a minute here. It's 100 cents in a rand. Not 100. 1 rand is equal to is 100 cents. That's where the 00 comes in, eh? So 100 cents is equal to 1 rand. So if I convert this to cents, then this will be 15 cents is equal to 150 cents. Not so? So how do I get that in the simplest form? What number goes into both? 15. Not so? So 15 goes into 15 once. Not equals, it's 2. And 150 divided by 15 is 10. So 1 is 2. 10. Okay. You'll also note that this was in cents and rands, but in the simplest form, I write it as 1 is to 10, and not cents and rands and all of those things. Okay. You guys understand? Let's go to the next one. 1.5. So 125 cents, 125 is to 75 cents. So what do we do first? Change that to cents. So multiply it by 100, I get 125 is to 75. Not so? So I divide by 25 both sides. So that goes 5 is to. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to do the remainder of the exercise, and then we're going to do the right part. Okay, we'll continue with the ratio tomorrow. When you only have that now. Oh, okay, nice. I think that period was very short. But okay, I thought maybe the holiday was sitting in early now. Alright, but any confusion here? No, okay. Just close here, but okay. Let's take us off here. Alright, we're looking at 1.6. Okay, so we've got 1 comma 80 meters is to 180 millimeters. Okay. 1 comma 80 meters is to 180 millimeters. So which SI unit is smaller? Millimeters, of course, is smaller. Okay. So 1 millimeter is smaller than 1 meter. That's all. So how many millimeters are in a meter? 1 meter is equal to how many millimeters? 1000 millimeters. 1 meter is also equal to how many centimeters? That's 100 years. Okay, for those of you who don't know these things, you write it down. If you knew it, you don't have to write it. Okay? So we're going to change this to millimeters. So that is 1800 millimeters is to 180 millimeters. What number goes into both? 180 goes into both, not so? Okay, so I divide both sides by 180. Divide both sides by 180. So of course by 10 that will cancel. And 18 divided by 180 divided by 18 is 10. Also, 180 divided by 80 is 1. But if you say, okay, you want to divide by 18 first and then by 10, or by 10 first and then by 18, well, you might do so as well. It will just take an extra step. Okay? But at this point, you are all allowed to use a calculator. Okay? And also, in your exams, you can use a calculator as well. Okay? So it gives you an opportunity to work this out. So 1.7. Let's look at 1.7. 1.7, we got 95 minutes is to 1 hour. 1 and 2/3 of an hour. So 95 minutes is to 1 and 2/3 of an hour. So what do we do first? We convert that fraction to the smallest SI unit. Not so. It's 1 minute bigger, 1 hour bigger. Which one is longer? The hour. Which one is shorter? The minutes. We should convert to smaller one. So how many minutes is 1 hour, 1 3/4 of an hour? Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm not thinking how are you?
Good, good. And you're welcome, Miss. What did you say?
Miss Farmer.
Miss?
Farmer.
Farmer.
Like someone that works in the farm.
No problem. Welcome. Can I have a seat anyway? Would you like to take over?
This is maths. I can't do maths. It's in my life. I'm just here.
We all have to try it. Right, so people do 1 hour and 1 and 2/3 of an hour. 1 and 2/3 of an hour is how many minutes? Yes.
118.
Why are you laughing? Okay, so firstly, relax, people. How much minutes is 1 hour? 60. 2/3 of 60 is what? 2/3 of 60. So that's over 1. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 going to 60? 20 times. 20 times 2? 40. Plus 16. Remember that 1 is 60. And she was close, no? Yes, but now listen, in the exam, you're close enough to give it up. But the good try, no? Good guess. But people, since we can use a calculator, we can do the calculation on the calculator. Pull up our calculators. You say, okay, 1 hour and 20. 1 and 2/3 of an hour. If I want to convert this to minutes, I multiply this by 60. Not so? So let's go. Punch that in the calculator. Let's see if we can get 100 out. Roger, where's your calculator? Why are you forgetting your calculator? Huh? Did you get 100? Are you lying to me?
No.
Show me, bring your calculator. Who got 100 on the calculator? I was getting 40 in my head. Got 100? Nice. Okay, so people one of two ways I can do. I can either convert this to improper fraction, which is 5/3. And 5/3 times 60. So it's 5/3 times 60. That's 100. No? Or, you see there's a mixed fraction here. We can punch a mixed fraction in the calculator. So we first press shift the fraction button. Oh, you were in last lesson. Oh, that's why I'm doing that. You first press shift and then that button. That is in mixed fraction form. Okay? So you put 1 and 2/3. And you multiply that by 60. Gives you 100. Oh, so try it now. We're going to get 95 minutes is to 100 minutes. Okay? Now what do we see? What is common in both now? 5. 5 can be divided into both. So I divide throughout by 5. So that's going to give us 19 is to 20. 19 is to 20. Okay, I know some of you can do this without a calculator. Yes? Keep on thinking you're that smart. There will come a time that you start believing our lies. Okay? I'm joking. No, you are smart enough. Okay. Don't you joke? Right, let's go to 1.8. So you got 40 k's, 40 kilograms, is to 480 grams. Which is smaller, 1 gram or 1 kilogram?
1 gram.
1 gram is small. Okay, so we're going to convert it to the smaller SIU. So, if I convert this to, how many grams are there in a kilogram? Okay, again for those of you who got the wrong answers, 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. 1,000 kilograms is equal to 1 ton. Okay. Remember that these conversions are not given in the exam. Okay. So you guys must memorize these things. So if you're going to convert 40 kilograms to grams, how many grams would the equivalent of 40 kilograms be? 40,000 grams is equal to 480 grams. Not equals, but is 2. It's a ratio, no? So that is an equation. So what number goes into both? You can divide it by? This is 4 or 40, not so. You put in your calculator, that will cancel, and it will give you 1,000 is 2. That will cancel, because 48 divided by 4 is 12, no? But is that in the simplest form? No. What number goes into both? 2, right? Okay, divide by 2. So 100 divided by 2 is 500. 1,000 divided by 2 is 500. 12 divided by 2? Is that in the simplest form? No. What number goes into both? Sorry? 2. So 2 goes into 500. 25 times, 250 times. 6 divided by 2? 3. So the simplest ratio of 40 kilograms is to 480 grams is the same as 250 is to 3. Right? You guys understand? But people from here, if you had seen, okay, I could have divided that by 160. But I divided by straight by 160. Okay? You would have gone straight into 25 is to 3. Okay, let's look at the next question. 1.9. 1.9, we got 155 centimeters is to 0.35 meters. Are they in the same SI unit? No. Must convert it to the same SI unit. That's all. So which one is smaller, centimeters or meters? Centimeters. How many centimeters are there in a meter? 100. Okay. So we multiply this number by 100. So it's going to be 155 centimeters is to 35 centimeters. So what do we say now? What number can go into both without remainder? 5. So 155 divided by 5 goes 3 carry 1. Not so? 31. And 35 divided by 5 is? 7. 31 is to 7. The last one, 1.10. You got 40 liters is to 1 kiloliter. How many liters are there in a kiloliter? 1,000. So 1 liter is smaller than 1 kiloliter. We multiply that by 1,000, what do we get? 40 liters is to 1,000 liters. So what number goes into both? 20 is divided by 20. So 20 divided by 20 is 2. 100 divided by 20 is? Sorry? Can I give you? 50. Is that in the simplest form? No?